Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1244, Feb 13, 2024. 51 degrees was the high on this day in 1890, and it was 23 below on this day in 1905.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Height in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
Do you think it's true that Alexandria Ocasio, what's her last name? Cortez. She wants Elon Musk to get a sample of the sun, but she said it should be done at night when it's cooler.
Shut up.
There's
I know. A guy sent me that, and I searched mightily because it's plausible that she's that stupid.
Yes.
But God, I laughed at that. But go at night, she said.
Well, right.
That's
You
clever.
would want to go at night. It's
I think
not as hot.
I think she was pulling our legs.
But there is the split second that made you go, well, hang on.
And not only a split second, I pursued it to the gates of insanity.
Yeah.
Say, I got a note from our fellow in Bulgaria, Dave Bliss, who writes, this morning I was out for a drive with my oldest daughter, Sophie. She's an adult now, so I suppose that makes her a kid I used to have. I was commenting on how nice it is that the sun is up so early as the days get longer. She responded with a facetious smile. You know why the days are getting longer, right? Global warming. That's my daughter. By the way, in other words, she doesn't believe it either.
Right.
By the way, I have been offered a job. Thanks, John.
Yeah,
By the way, I've been.
Yeah, me too, actually.
By the way, I have been offered a job in the Twin Cities area. My family will be permanently moving from Bulgaria in the spring to start a new position in the summer. Sadly, I believe this means you will be losing your entire Bulgarian listening audience. But hey, maybe I'll see you around town. I hope Dave isn't the only Bulgarian who listens.
I hope there's not.
Is there any way that Dave can stay in Bulgaria and work remotely? I would not advise moving back to Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Yeah, Bulgaria sounds pretty good right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah. Bulgaria. It's way over there, isn't it?
I just looked up AOC and Sun
Yeah.
on
Did you see
social
it?
media. Well, it's, yeah.
Well,
People
can
are
you
having
play it? Can you play it?
Well, no, but because all of it's fake.
Well, of course it is, but
But that's the thing you got to worry about with AI, because what if we felt,
I didn't.
was it the, no. But months ago, it was Greta Thunberg. Didn't we fall for a Greta Thunberg deep fake?
I did not. I would never fall for a Greta Thunberg deepfake.
Okay.
There are pictures even showing up in conventional news gathering institutions, but also on tabloids like the UK Sun and Daily Mail, of some beautiful, beautiful mansions in Dana Point, California, in Orange County.
I've seen those.
South of Los Angeles.
Lovely area.
And they're literally teetering on the edge of the cliff.
Yeah.
Literally?
Yes, right up to, you couldn't.
Well, what word should be used?
They are teetering on the edge of the cliff. It
doesn't mean literally, does it?
No, right.
They're teetering on the edge of cliffs, and I have zero sympathy.
Ooh.
Now, I have sympathy for many occasions, but this isn't one of them. How dumb are you that you build a $16 million house on the edge of the cliff? And there they are. I mean, there's the pictures. Yep. They're teetering. One more rain and they're gone, baby.
I'm looking at them right now. Unbelievable.
3 luxury mansions appear to be teetering. They don't appear. That's just as bad as literally. They don't appear to be teetering. They are teetering. Close to the cliff edge in Dana Point, a city in California situated at an altitude of 144 feet above the beach. The video shows the aftermath of a recent landslide, which eroded the backyards of the multi-million-dollar properties. I would call it the front yard. If I'm looking at the ocean.
Okay. All right.
we're finally getting into the only thing that matters.
Right. I don't want to be.
No, stop talking. When you're at the lake,
Yep.
and you're sitting in the front. You're sitting at the side of the house that the lake is on. You're gazing out over the lake.
Yeah.
You are in the front yard.
That's what I.
No.
You're in the front yard.
Yes,
No.
we're on the same page. I just said
The front yard is where
Joe,
you pull up and you have
Joe,
it's
it's me
225
and
rural route.
it's me and you against the world, buddy. We're the only two that think alike on this question.
There's no way in hell that's the front yard.
Yeah, it's the front.
To me, it's the front yard.
You don't sit on the side of the house and watch the cars go by on the road.
No, but
The lake is different
that's where
than the
address
city.
is. The address is always in the
When
front.
you're sitting in California looking out over the ocean and the cliff, you are sitting in the front yard.
You're full of beans.
And if I spend 16 million and I have you come over, I'm going to say, let's go sit in the front yard. And that ain't going
Yes.
to be looking at the
I'll
street,
be
you
sitting
moron.
I'll be right by the garage going, where the hell are they?
Where's that water?
I think they sent me on a snipe hunt.
Literally.
Well, what is that highway that runs next to the
One.
ocean? there?
55.
Yeah, it's Highway 1.
55.
Yeah.
101.
Well, that's all. I don't have anything to add to that except if that's being offered as climate change, I'm not suggesting it is. You're really idiots because what did you expect when you build your house with a front yard on the edge of a cliff?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
But
you know
do
what we've just
sympathize
done?
with the people that have lost their houses to landslides where they haven't built.
Of course
on
I
the edge.
do.
Okay.
Literally.
Or don't play that again. And then I also sympathize with the likes of sourdough slim situation.
Yeah.
And,
Is that,
things of that
Palisades?
nature. I have no doubt that's a dreadful.
Not to get morbid, but isn't that the same area where the Kobe Bryant helicopter crash was?
No, nowhere near there.
I thought it
None.
was.
Zero. No. Way inland.
Oh, yes. 'cause
Dana Point is
Why wouldn't you know that?
the front yards of the houses in Dana Point are on the ocean.
Front or back?
The front yard faces the ocean.
Huh?
I don't care where they
This is-
nailed up the
You know what
address.
this is, Sue? We've opened up a can of this is grass fed versus corn fed as well.
Yes. Kenny,
Yeah.
you nailed it.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going to get 10
And you know what?
1,000
This is a
emails.
hill. I am willing to die on this hill.
Hey,
It's
so am
me
I.
and Joe
So am I.
against the world.
I'm digging in right now.
Yeah, and I'm with Rook.
Thank you,
To me,
Josh.
this is such a silly question because it's obvious where the back and front yards are.
In the city, not at the lake.
So if you and Ma are having supper outside,
Yeah.
are you on the front porch or are you on the back porch?
I'd always choose to have dinner on the front porch.
On the front porch looking
Yep.
at the front yard.
Mhm.
Now, when I
And the
looked at-
lake or ocean.
I was lucky enough to grow up on a lake.
Yeah.
The lake side was always referred to as the front.
That's where the big deck is. It's
My
where the
wife-
lanai
My
is.
wife grew up on Lake Johanna in White Bear Lake. And
That's too small to be called a lake.
front
That's
was always...
that's a mud puddle.
That's a
Okay.
pond.
All right. I got you.
If you live on a pond, the back's the back.
We call them
telling you.
potholes up here. Rook.
Yeah.
So
So
front yard.
Our governor has bumped the pay for himself and others.
our worker, we got a surplus, remember? Oh, wait, it's gone.
No, that's gone.
Yeah, we breezed
right.
through that
Shoot, I forgot.
I'm bringing this up for one reason that I'll get to in a moment.
to bleep us.
No,
Yep.
well,
And don't think they won't.
hey, Walz, you're here for one reason, aren't you? House Minority Leader Lisa DeMuth, a Republican from Cold Springs, released a statement late last week attacking Democrats in the wake of new details regarding significant salary increases received by members of the Walz administration. It was first reported by NPR. Some commissioners within Governor Walz's administration have seen their annual salaries increase by roughly 32 grand in the last year.
Holy.
Wow.
Seven commissioners currently receive annual salaries larger than 187 grand. Numerous commissioners have salaries higher than 180 grand. A commissioner is appointed by the governor to lead a state government agency, such as the Minnesota Department of Public Safety, the Minnesota Department of Agriculture, the Minnesota Department of Education. We knew how well that worked
Right.
because they were involved in the food fraud scandal.
Before Heather Mueller left.
Right. Or another department. Minnesota state government currently has more than 20 commissioners.
Wow.
Leading different agencies as the government has grown unwieldy. Yet again, Democrats are putting their own interests over Minnesota's interests, said DeMuth. While most Minnesotans didn't even get enough of a raise to keep up with inflation, members of the Walz administration, who already have six-figure salaries, saw massive pay increases to the tune of as much as $32,000. For context, no commissioner of a Minnesota agency received a salary greater than $155,000 as of January 2nd, 2023, a year ago. With some of their salaries now increasing to over $187,000, several unelected bureaucrats have enjoyed pay increases of over 20% in just 1 year. Meanwhile, the wages and salaries of American workers in the private sector rose 4.3% in the same year. Now, here's why I bring this up. There's many ways you could go after this, but I wish someone could confront Walz and say to him, don't sell us this BS that we always get from the public class, from governors, that you need to be competitive in the salaries you offer so that you get the best talent, that you're competing with the private sector. Don't accept that because you have no evidence that you've hired anybody that can compete with the private sector.
Right.
You had Heather Mueller in the Department of Education who blew $250 million giving money to food fraudsters. You screwed up trying to hire somebody to run the marijuana department.
I was just on that page right now.
You haven't accomplished anything that would demonstrate to the taxpayers you have some urgent need to be competing feverishly for talent with the public, with the private sector, who are getting a 4.3% increase. No, these are your people. These are your friends. These are the people who share your same ideology, and you're full of BS, Walz, if you ever try to sell me that one.
And these are the same people that if you were a private company and you committed this much fraud, they would be on you so fast to say you owe us XYZ.
Yes, Kenny.
Once again, I find myself at odds with you, Mayor. I think you're taking the wrong approach. If any of us had half a brain, we'd all be applying for that commissioner of Minnesota marijuana, where we would get paid, what did you say, over $200,000
Well, no.
and hit the bong every day, all day.
Research and development.
Now, 7 commissioners currently receive salaries larger than $187,000.
All right.
Numerous commissioners have salaries higher than $180,000. Now, I don't really begrudge people what they make. That's fine, but this is BS. This is a scam.
Well, when you're on, when you're on the government dime, it's different.
This is me having to pay you. Walz, I can't
Remember
think
when
of
you
a,
defended him way back in the
I
day?
can't think of a greater disappointment in my life as a politician than Walz. What a
Do you
disappointment.
think the people in these positions aspired to get to that position? Do you think that was the end game?
That's a good question.
Or do you think that just happened by surprise and now they have thrown away all of their ideals and personal morals just for the paycheck?
Kenny, I bet the vast majority of people that are in public spots like this, they did this for the money grab. And I'm more convinced of that every day. They don't care about us. None of these people care about us.
According to the U.S. Census, Minnesota's median household income is $84,000. Furthermore, Minnesota's per capita income is $44,947. Nearly 10% of Minnesotans live in poverty. This adds insult to injury for Minnesotans and further shows how misaligned Democrats' priorities are, said DeMuth. I agree with her. Democrats promised Minnesota $2,000 rebate checks and tax relief. Instead, they blew the $18 billion surplus and raised taxes by $10 billion so that they could build a $730 million office building for themselves and reward their own with huge pay increases.
Do you think there's a Republican walking the planet that would turn down that money, though, if appointed to one of those offices?
Nope.
Right.
But I
So,
think it would be better utilized by Republicans.
I mean, next, if we ever get another Republican governor, it'll be the Democrats saying the same thing the Republicans are saying right now. They're all being disingenuous.
Didn't we have on John Jasinski,
Yes.
a Republican from Faribault?
Yep.
He says that the overarching proposed budget for this state is too costly. It's just not sustainable. He said, I'm just telling you, something is going to crash, and it's going to crash hard by increasing spending this much. I don't doubt that at all. I don't doubt that at all.
We haven't spent enough time talking about that office building. That is apocryphal. That's just unbelievable. What a crime.
They could have purchased both downtown Minneapolis skyscrapers for less than what they're spending on this office building.
That is unbelievable.
The governor's pay is going to rise to 150. Now, he's going to make less than some of his cronies. Judicial pay is going to go up. Seats on the Supreme Court would pay at least $221,000.
Well, how do we as a group feel about 150 for a governor? I don't think I've got a problem with that.
I don't begrudge anybody any money, but this is a money grab. There is no countering voice. Lisa DeMuth, who's in the minority, Jasinski, who's in the minority, others who are in the minority, Pat Garofalo. What are they supposed to do? There's no one to put the hammer down. There's no one to stop this. In the meantime, you're struggling at the gas pumps in the grocery store.
The big question is, what does this mean come the next election? Is there going to be a big sea change, or is it just going to be more Democrats spending more money?
The more I read letters to the editor in the Star Tribune, the more I realize that Minnesota is not what I once thought it was.
Yep.
It's just not. It's not what I once thought it was. There are too many people who either don't care about this or think this is just fine, even though there's no evidence that paying these people these salaries has resulted in improved government.
I would say that's true in the metropolitan area. From what I see, there's vast outrage out here. But, the governor won't come out here and talk to us.
Well, here we go. Senator Aaron May Quaid, DFL Apple Valley, said there are managerial positions inside of government and the private sector that pay more, which should prompt lawmakers to bring salaries into better balance. She's trying to sell you the idea that we need the kind of competence that's on display in the private sector.
She came up before.
Yeah, she's come up.
Yeah, she's been up a lot.
She's a crackpot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
So can I, next time I meet with the boss, can I say, well, look what Joe Rogan makes?
Right.
But Senator Steve Drazkowski, Republican Mazeppa, said the optics are bad. It certainly looks like Democrats are taking care of themselves in this and eventually in this bill by giving huge salary increases to Democrat politicians. He said ahead of a party line vote to include the constitutional officers' raises in a broader budget measure. And then that was followed by the John Jasinski quote that this is not sustainable and that there will be a crash. And I don't doubt that for a moment, unless they just want to take all our money.
They do.
The bad thing about that quote is the optics have been bad in everything the Democrats have done in Minnesota for about 2 years, but nobody seems to really
Well,
care.
because they're all Democrats.
Yeah, well, but even, I just meant the general population.
Where's the pitchforks and torches?
Yeah.
Well, we're all staring out the front yard.
Joe, rage is exhausting. It's hard to maintain that level of rage.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you something.
What do you tell me?
I tell you about